Hello and greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're on to Augustine. I'm one of the economic developers within our Kringle private society. And I'm here to actually give us a broadcast this morning. And before now, I made a broadcast and I had a lot of network challenges. And in my opinion, I felt it's necessary that I redo this broadcast. So that's why I'm here again to do the broadcast. The title of my broadcast is Bitcoin, Fiat Money, Central Banks, Digital Currency, and Kringle Coins. They are all in a race to global adoption. Which will prevail? Let's find out in our meeting for today. Now, I'm going to actually share a video with us. We watch the video together. After we finished it, then I make some contributions as the video is playing out. Do well to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. And also, a thumbs up is necessary if you are interested in helping the TBC community grow and be successful, and also remain united in love and in respect. All right. On that said, I'll share my screen so that we can see a few things. I think screen being shared. All right, so let's watch this video together.
Keep up on this stuff, but we've watched Musk and Michael Saylor and everybody saying that Bitcoin's going to continue to go up as the dollar inflates. Now, this is really your strike zone. Obviously, they're kind of using this again, like the dollar for sure is going to inflate. I think we all agree on that. At least you and I do. Why are some of these big names jumping in now? We're seeing obviously MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. We see Musk with Tesla.
But remember, that's hardly anybody. Yeah, there's Michael Saylor. Yeah, there's Elon Musk. But what percent of the S&P 500 CEOs are into Bitcoin? I mean, maybe it's just those two guys. I mean, you have a little bit with Square and Twitter. Jack Dorsey's controlling both companies, so I can throw him in there. But Square is utilizing Bitcoin to some extent, so there's a reason that they might be talking about it. But you're talking about a very small but highly vocal minority. So when you say everybody's talking about it, they're not. I mean, a lot of people are talking about it, but they're not buying it. The only ones that are buying it are the Elon Musks and the Michael Saylors. But of course, once these guys buy it, they can't stop talking about it because they have to keep talking about it because they got to talk it up. They've got to get more people to buy because there is no actual use case for Bitcoin. There's no real market.
Now, I don't know, but what do you think about that? Is there actually a real use case for Bitcoin? Well, if you would ask a merchant, I don't know what a merchant will say. They know that, yeah, there is Bitcoin, but what's actually the use case of Bitcoin? Can you use Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation? I don't know. I think you should answer that question yourself. Another thing that I will ask you is in terms of the global adoption of Bitcoin, do you think that Bitcoin has gained enough global recognition to the point where you can see organizations that say, yeah, you can pay me with Bitcoin? Well, I don't think we've come to that point yet. Everything is on a race to global adoption. Pardon me to say this, Bitcoin was the one that showed the way. Just like John the Baptist showed the way to Christ. Bitcoin was the way that opened the concept of digital currencies. The government tried to fight it, but found out that if they do nothing about this, well, they are going to lose power. So it actually made me understand that this system is under a control, and Bitcoin intended to take the people out of the control that the elite had usurped on them, But then, from what I see, the elites are buying Bitcoin because they understand the nature of Bitcoin as finite. It's similar to gold, which is also finite, and people are gaining confidence in Bitcoin. Now, I wouldn't be surprised in the next future they render Bitcoin use case valueless. Now, time will come, but the system of the elite has been such that they don't want competition. So some time will come when the central bank digital currencies will come on a global scale controlled by the elites. SDR and the rest, they will come in. They don't want competition. So there is every tendency that they will dare to shut down Bitcoin. Why? How would they shut it down? We already know how Bitcoin operates. Provided Bitcoin is in the hands of people, then the value kind of remains. They are going to create a kind of fear or saga in the world to make people think that Bitcoin will go down, and people may sell off. If enough people sell off Bitcoin to a central authority, then it automatically causes the price to remain down. These things are what they are going to do. Provided Bitcoin is in circulation across the world, I dare to say that Bitcoin will not lose its use case. So we as a private community are going to do our part to make sure that Bitcoin remains in global circulation. We will achieve it. So the elite may be trying to shut down Bitcoin, but the Kringle Society are going to do their part, provided human beings are employed and paid in 100% Kringles. And Bitcoin is also used as a medium to keep the system running. We already understand what I mean. If we are able to achieve that at our mass adoption stage, our membership of 1 billion, I dare to say that when they want to do their part to shut down Bitcoin, it will be impossible. And another thing that the elites will also do is to increase taxes. Of course, at a digital system, taxes become the main thing. They are going to charge you even to the point of 100% taxes. You can't run away. It's all digital. They have every right to just pick up the money from your account, even without your permission. That's what they are doing. They are imposing taxes, and it will happen over time. In the course of this video, you understand. Why am I all saying this? I'm saying this because TBC is giving you an option, an alternative, and you must be responsible enough to choose to become a billionaire or a millionaire in our private community. Though it's a long-term thing, we have a goal of saving, redeeming mankind from what the elite has planned for mankind. So let's play out. As you keep listening, you will hear some few things. I'll make some contributions. So let's continue.
For it, like there is for gold, the only market is people who think the price is going to go up. And the only way the price will go up is if more people buy.
Did you hear what they said? It's when people buy. Now, provided it is in circulation, Bitcoin price would never go down. And TBC community will work and do their part to make sure that there is enough circulation of Bitcoin and other coins like Litecoin, like Ethereum, like Bitcoin Cash. You see, TBC is going to have so much power to the point where we are going to gain so much numbers that we will determine if the coin market cap will stay or not. Don't worry. You are going to see how it will unfold. All right, let's keep listening.
As if they have new buyers to sell it to. So that's why Bill Saylor has to constantly pound the table. He does any interview. I mean, no matter who requests him, do any podcast, no matter how small. He is 24/7 Bitcoin promoter. I mean, who the hell's running MicroStrategy? I mean, maybe he's doing this whole thing as a distraction because maybe his software company is failing. And so he turned it into a Bitcoin ETF, and all he does is tout Bitcoin. That's his basic job now, is try to pump this thing up. But once you get beyond these big pumpers, you know, it's just a distraction for most companies. I mean, they look at it, but they've got nothing to do with it. And to answer your question about
I didn't even know my network has cut off. Why is my network so bad? I really don't know. Anyway, and let me quickly share my screen again and then summarize. Okay, my screen is now being shared. So I was actually driving at something, but I think I've said a whole lot. I can't actually recollect where I was, but let this video finish playing. As it's playing, I may be making some other contributions. So let's hear it.
When you print more paper, right? Now the price of all the things that you buy with paper goes up, right? And commodities are usually some of the most, the first reactors. You print more money and now food gets more expensive or energy gets more expensive. But when you have gold, you're owning one of those commodities that is going to go up in price with inflation. As you print more money, you need more money to buy gold. You need more money to buy a house. You need more money to buy oil or wheat or copper or anything. So gold is an inflation hedge because it gets you out of paper into something real that has some kind of relationship to all the other commodities or other assets. But Bitcoin isn't real. It has no relationship to anything. There is no historic, metric that says how many Bitcoins should it take to buy a house? How many Bitcoins should it take, to buy an ounce of gold or a barrel of oil? I mean, there's no relationship, but you could go back over history and say, hey, how much should the average house cost in terms of gold? Right? How many ounces of gold should it take to buy a house? How much gold do you need to buy oil or to buy wheat or to buy copper? I mean, you can go back for hundreds of years or more, and you can kind of look at this and say, okay, well, if paper is going to collapse and I got to get out of paper and I want to store my purchasing power to buy the things that I need in the future, well, I'll buy gold because gold will hold on to its purchasing power, and then I can use my gold to buy a house or to buy the things that I need. Because if I'm just holding on to dollars, paper, I may not be able to buy anything because the paper can lose so much value. But I think people who think Bitcoin is going to behave like gold are wrong. I mean, first of all, it's not behaving anything like gold now. It just goes straight up. Gold doesn't do that. Bitcoin is just marches to its own drum. It's a pure speculative mania, and we could have a huge outbreak of inflation where gold goes to 5 or 10,000, and in that environment, Bitcoin could go to approach zero. I mean, it's got no relationship to anything other than its own speculative mania. And it's
all right. Now, I believe we've heard what this guy has said. So this guy is actually making a point, and his point is very simple. If the bulk of humanity adopts Bitcoin, it becomes a system. And Bitcoin doesn't derive its value from anywhere. It actually derives its value from the people saying that that's what it is. Now, if the elites are able to make the same people disbelieve Bitcoin and think that Bitcoin is not worth anything, it becomes what the people says it is. Now, the elites and the market has always manipulated humanity. And they are also going to try to manipulate humanity so that humanity can drop Bitcoin. They would also impose more and more taxes on Bitcoin so that it gets more and more difficult for people to use Bitcoin and do anything. And if humanity allows that to happen, then they will outlaw Bitcoin and Bitcoins become worthless. And people will have no other option than to subscribe to the central bank's digital currency. But I dare to say that as long as the Kringle coins exist and the private society of the TBC exists, we are going to ensure that that will not happen. Remember, we have three major objectives. The first objective is to build our membership into a 1 billion. As we are doing that, we are inviting merchants to come in and then interact with us in our private medium of exchange and in our private community. And we are also going to do one more last thing. After we have attained global adoption, we are going to what? Change the entire government globally and then make sure that peace and righteousness reigns. This is our objectives, and we are going to achieve it. So as we do that, we will look into the systems and find about the best systems that will favor everyone. There is also going to be committees. These committees are going to play a major role in our Kringle society. These committees that will be set up. There will be committees that are going to be responsible for financial regulation across the world. And TBC will be the ones to anchor it to a good extent. Forget about all the committees you are seeing out there, and then some other organizations that they are saying they are checkmating one or two things. They are only working to benefit the government. But as TBC gets more organized, it will be set up not to benefit the government or a single individual. No, it will be to benefit humanity at large. So let's conclude on this video, and then I'll call it quits. I'll quickly go to our Kringle Cashback office to look into a few things, and that'll be all for today. So let's listen.
As soon as the buying dries up, this whole thing is going to collapse, regardless of what's happening to inflation, the dollar, gold, or anything else.
So, Peter, we just got done hammering Bitcoin, and I'm very clear on how you feel about it. So let's talk about a potential crash, because a lot of people are saying the crash is impossible. And, I know you studied this.
Did you hear him laugh?
I really love your videos.
He's actually laughing that it's not possible. But remember I said, if the TBC community stands, and we are using our 4 systems, Bitcoin, Kringle coins, Litecoin, Ethereum, let me say it again, Bitcoin as a means for payments, Bitcoin, grains of gold, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I don't know if other systems will crash, but provided people in the community up to 1 billion are using these systems, I tell you that it won't crash, because what gives value to these systems are its use case. So let's hear what this man has to say.
And obviously you're an economist, so you look at things very differently. What do you say to those people?
Well, first of all, clearly a Bitcoin crash is not only impossible or not impossible, it's highly probable, because Bitcoin has already crashed many, many times in its 10-year existence. I mean, you look at how many times the price of Bitcoin has collapsed by 70, 80, 90% or more. I mean, it's probably at least a dozen, maybe more. I'm not really sure. So it has a history of crashing. So I don't know why anybody in Bitcoin would say it can't crash. It's just that up until now, every time it's crashed, it's come back, right? So a lot of people are very complacent. They recognize that Bitcoin can crash at any moment, because obviously it's done it so many times in the past. But what they also expect to happen is that after it crashes, it comes back and makes a new high, because that's what it's done every time. But just because it's done that in the past, there is no guarantee that it's going to do that in the future. One of these days, Bitcoin's going to crash and it ain't going to come back.
Did you hear what he said? That it's going to crash and it's not going to come back. Now, why will it crash and it won't come back? Its reason is because people will sell off. As long as people are still using it for something, even if it's paying a subscription fee, Bitcoin will not crash. Because what people should understand is on the underlying principles behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what it is today because its use case is getting more and more adopted on a global scale. And if that continues and the elites are able to try to stop it and doesn't work, Bitcoin has come to stay. Now they understand that it's going to be a system that will be difficult for them to rival. That's why behind the scene, they are gathering and buying as many Bitcoin. They want to have monopoly of control and power. And if somehow they can confuse, just like they've confused the rest of humanity, to self-vaccinated and become time bombs, which will explode in the future. If humanity can allow themselves to be deceived into that realm, well, I can tell you, that Bitcoin will be going down the drains alongside with the rest of the coin market cap systems. But let me make you understand that as long as the TBC community exists and keeps speaking out, telling the truth, there is every tendency that the truth will definitely prevail. So I dare to say Bitcoin will succeed in the future. Bitcoin will achieve its goal of global adoption because TBC is the one that is pushing it. You can be I didn't even know my network had cut off. My sincere apologies on that. I was saying something, and I'll just say it again, and then that'll be all. Pardon me for the delay. All right. So I was talking about this. I was saying something about this. I was talking about the future of the system. I was saying that even if in the nearest future the coin market cap shuts down, if in the nearest future the coin market cap is no more, we would have become much more organized, built our membership into 1 billion across the entire world. That would have done. And we will have two mediums of exchange. We'll have Kringle coins, we'll have grains of gold. If you are not a member in the Kringle Society and you want to be a member, of course, you would have two options. The first option is complete enslavement, which is the central bank digital currency, the SDR, and all that. Now, that's the system that tells you you own nothing and you'll be happy. The other system will tell you, come in. Though you are not the owner of Kringle coins or you are not the owner of grains of gold, but then you can use it and still keep what you have. We are not going to take anything from you. You will use our medium of exchange to protect yourself against what the elites are going to do. Remember, I said that Kringle and TBC community is a protection against what the elite wants to do. It is the ones who love good righteousness and goodness that will run into our Kringle society. It's going to be a protection against the elite, and that's how we're going to cleanse the world of all their wickedness. And after we've done that, I believe our creator has the next objective. For now, what we have to do is change the paradigm. Let the world see that goodness can prevail. Change the reality, change the evil, stop wars, and then find cures to all these incurable diseases. Provided we are building on a system on abundance, we will do all this and we will give room for humanity to embrace the right thing, not the wrong thing. And then if you are able to align with that, we are going to build, there will be an education side that would not have the same curriculum with the same education we are seeing. We are going to change everything and we'll give room for humanity to express themselves to the fullest. And as we finish that, our creator has the next objectives. We are in the last days, and TBC is a very, very significant medium or weapon in changing the paradigm or the reality. We are actually in a place that is evil, because it's controlled by the evil. If you were in the mass adoption meeting yesterday, you understand more. We want to change it so that it can be a system controlled by good. And if you are in the system controlled by good, you must have to allow the good to prevail over you. You see, I think God wants to do something new. He does not want men to suffer the consequences of evil, because trust me, the consequences of evil is very bad. We want humanity to embrace good and enjoy abundance, both here on earth and afterlife. And that's why TBC is here, to make you see it from that perspective. If after all we've done, you still prefer the path of darkness, well, I think the consequences that will follow will be very, very bad. Don't be a victim of bad. Don't be a victim of evil. Choose the path of life and own up to the responsibility if you want to be in the billionaire level or in the millionaire level. I believe the choice is all yours to make. I will stop at this point. Thank you very much for paying attention. And for those of us that will watch in the course of time, I would appreciate if you can share and then subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed to my channel. All right, I'll stop here and then I would go back to see if there's anybody that has made any contribution. All right, so it's just one person that said hello. All right, till I come your way again tomorrow. Cheers and do have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye for now.